Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. We've got a quick review for you of a game called Dixit. It's put out by Asmodee. My name's Jimmy.
Rod.
And I'm Tim. As far as this game goes, with instructions, this is it. That's it. Just like one sheet. And that's all it needs, because it's the complexity of the game is not in how it's played. It's the people playing it. There's no story to it. There's no background or some wizard in the backcountry is forcing you to take a Rorschach test or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just simply a card game that just happens to have a board on it.
Yeah. So let me tell you how it plays. At the beginning of the game, everybody gets 5 cards, and the cards have some crazy artwork on it. It's very different, and we'll talk about more of that later. But basically, everybody gets a card, and then whoever is the leader or the I don't know what you call them.
Person's turn.
Whoever's turn it is, at the beginning of the game, will look at the cards that they have in their hand, and they will try to come up with a word that describes one of the cards that is in their hands. And the point of the game, the way that you get points, is you describe your card, and then you want people to vote on it. But the catch is you don't want everybody to know which card is yours. So you come up with a word that you think describes your card, but doesn't describe it perfectly, or doesn't describe it too vaguely that no one will get it. So once you pick a word, let's say the word was brown, then everybody else looks through their cards and tries to come up with a card that would best fit that description. And so he comes up with his, and you turn all of these in secretively.
Yeah, they're flipped over on the back, so nobody sees what card anybody puts into the pile. Except for him. He's the only one that knows which card's which.
Right, and so you mix the cards up, and then you'll lay them out on the board next to these numbers, 1 through 6, depending on how many players you have. And then you put the cards out, and then everybody goes through, and they have these little tokens in their hand, and they say, okay, I think, based off of the word that was described, I think that the card is number 2. And so you kind of do these secretively, and then you wait, and everybody picks a number that they think, and then you say, okay, go. And then you put out your number. And so we both chose number 2, and Rod chose number 3. And then whoever's turn it is, they say, mine was actually number 3. And so then it's revealed which card it was, and then you give out points. So here's how the points work. On a given turn, if everybody finds the active player's turn, so I used the word brown and everybody figured it out, it was so obvious, then the only person that gets the points are the other people. Even though it was my turn, I don't get anything because everybody guessed it. In essence, it's a penalty because I gave too good of a clue. Well, let's say if it was the other way. What if I gave too vague of a clue and nobody got it? Well, the same kind of thing happens. Everybody else gets a point and I don't get anything. So you're again penalized because you gave too vague of a clue. If it's your turn and you're the active player, the only way that you can score points is if at least one person guesses it, but not everybody. So in other words, you gave a good clue, but not too good of a clue. And so that's how you get points. If you're a non-active player, you're the one guessing, the way that you get points is if you give a clue, you give a card that would really match it well, and so you got other people to vote. So in this instance, the real one was number 3, but me and Tim, we voted for number 2. And so whoever put out this card would get points for that because they gave a card that matched it really well. Right. So that's basically how you get points. The first one to get to 30, or the person with the most points once you get to 30, is the one who wins the game.
Yeah, it's definitely based on everybody's imagination. And you're going to get people that play and that pick descriptions that are just make no sense whatsoever, and that's going to add a lot of fun to the game.
Yeah, or you'll get people that'll give a clue that's just totally obvious. Like one time we played and somebody gave the word stripe, and it was like, how obvious is that? But they just had in their mind that somebody else would have a card that had a stripe on it. Well, it didn't turn out that way, and so they gave a clue that they thought would be vague, but it became very specific when the cards were revealed.
Yeah, because every card is different artwork. So even though you think everybody's got a monster purse on their card, there's not another monster purse in the entire deck. So
you get 82 cards, and the artwork is very we'll get into components in a second.
But it's also very family oriented. I mean, you've got all ages can play this.
Definitely.
That's pretty neat.
Well, what do you think about the components that came with the game?
Well, it's a card game, so again, the components are not going to be a lot to them, but the artwork's fine. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do, right? And the cards are nice and big, so for small hands and big hands, it's kind of nice, and they're nice thick stock, so that's good. The boards, as much as you need. I mean, you don't need any more board than this. It gives you tells you how the points work out right here. This is your actual tracking of your numbers here. There is the rabbits, and the rabbits are interesting, but that's probably the one component I'm not a big fan of. But they're fine. They just help track where each player is and everything. So in all, when it comes to components, I mean, for the price point of the game, it's fine. It's just fine.
Yeah. So, and I agree. One thing that I do want to mention about the components, though, is that the artwork is just crazy. I mean, like, some of it makes no sense at all. It could be very fantasy-oriented, or it could be totally just out there. You know, there's all kinds of different crazy cards, and I think that helps drive the way that the game is played, because if there was very straightforward artwork, then it would be hard to come up with something unique to say about your card that would match others. But for some reason, the weird art and then being able to put out vague clues makes it all work together.
I think everyone's enjoyed it that I've seen play it and played it with, so it's good. It's good.
It does kind of look like children's book artwork, which it just immediately just activates your imagination like you were a kid again, and you're looking at it, you're like, oh wow, this fits with the like Jack and the Beanstalk or whatever, something like that, you know?
Right.
And then that, of course, sends you a description that might match what you thought of Jack and the Beanstalk. Nobody else is going to get that reference. But
so
overall, I mean, what did you guys think about the game?
It's entertaining. I mean, that's I guess what it's supposed to do, right? The price point's good, so it's very entertaining.
I liked it. The people I played with have liked it, so I played with a wide range of people that, like us, maybe that love to play deeper games, and then I've played with people that are just like, you know, my mother-in-law, my wife, you know, that are just, you know, they want to play fun, light games, and this is easy to explain and understand, and you can just play.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting playing with just 3 and then playing with a full set of 6 people. 6 gets crazy. It's way hard to pick the card, and 3 it's a little bit easier to pick, so you have to there's a lot more strategy that goes into it. So a wide range of players can definitely play and definitely have fun with it.
All right. Well, we do this at the end of our reviews where we have 3 colored dice, and this just represents whether or not we think you should. Green, go buy it now. Red, don't buy it at all. Or white, maybe stop and think about it. So we choose our colored dice secretively.
Super secret.
Put it out on the table, and then reveal. Oh! So we got a white, a green, and a green. Tell us why.
Well, I think it's just specific to what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a lighthearted game, sure, I'd say buy it. I mean, I'm just more of a hardcore gamer, so I don't see myself buying this unless it's just going to be for a family game, and it probably wouldn't make my list.
I say green, go buy it, just because, like I said, I've got 2 sets of gamers that I play with, like these guys where we like deeper stuff, and then I've got some family that likes a lot of lighter stuff, and I work with teenagers at a church, and so this is a great group game to bring out, and so to me, this is definitely one that I have in my collection, and I want to buy the expansions already.
Okay, I definitely went green because sometimes you need a break from super strategy game. You know,
some people need a break.
So if you go all day long, you got some 8-hour game session, and you're going strategy game. Sometimes your brain just needs a break, and it just wants to have a little bit of fun. And this is great because it's even better when you get the serious gamers in here trying to do imaginative things with the cards. So.
I totally agree. Totally. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching another video review by Board Game Closet. Check us out online on our website, or you can visit us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.